Hey Courtney, I'm standing in the Casa Amarilla right now, and I just want to give you an overview, show you where some of the problems are, what's going on here, and what we want to do, because I know you want to get your Casitas done first. So, well, I'm standing on your deck, and you can see that the sun, the south-facing side of your Casitas are they're super exposed to the elements, whether it's the sun or the rain or whatever. If you come over here, you can see your walls are filled with all kinds of nasty mold and all kinds of nasty. Definitely going to need a paint job, as well as your interior. The interior was never really finished painting. You can still see splotches here and there, and some places where we're going to need to fix the drywall. Your wood siding, kind of the feature wood siding wall, some pieces have fallen off. You can see they're down here, kind of nasty, just rotting behind the wall, and they're just gross. I think this is just pine, which is no good for termites, no good for anything. So our idea is to take it off, because it's just going to be a maintenance nightmare. Unless you want to keep it, in which case I would put new wood on, or we can certainly refinish the wood that's on here. It's just kind of warped and nasty. The tongue and grooves are actually coming out of the together, and they're falling apart, and it's just, it's all gross. So what we were thinking is we just take it off. Since it's drywalled on the upstairs inside, it looks like it's all steel beams, steel galvanized purlings, 2x4 purlings. Putting Durarock, which is a sheet material we use back home in bathrooms. It's literally a concrete board, which we can put on the outside like we would do back home, tape it, and then mud it and stucco it to make it look like the rest of these walls, you know, cement stucco, and then paint it white, and that would take away all your headaches. So inside, this is your living room / kitchen, downstairs bathroom area. Again, you know, it's just kind of, the walls are kind of gross. You know, there were some dogs living in here before. We just want to clean it up. We want to clean up these grout lines by either adding some grout or just seeing if a good bleach and scrub down will do the trick. Paint the walls, because the walls are splotchy and haven't been finished. There's a little bit of skim work that needs to happen with some mud, drywall mud on the ceiling, because they kind of did a bad job. It's pretty visual, you can see it. That's easy stuff. Take a look at your kitchen. I personally don't like this tile. I think it's super ugly. It cracks, breaks. The glass tile is no good, which is fine if you like it. Again, it gets nasty and gross, but this is where we wanted to cut out to stick in a small stove, which will totally fit in there. Little 4-burner, Frigidaire, and a stove right here, so you can bake. You can actually do some baking. And then I would stick granite countertops directly on top of this, which they sell at Sensa, and it's fairly inexpensive. The guys will come out, we just give them the measurements, they'll come out and install it, super quick and easy. And we can chip off all this line of if we want to granite it, we can chip all this stuff off, as this will be cut out, and we can just refinish it with Respe and paint it. This wood is nasty and moldy, you can see. It's untreated. There wasn't a lot of oil added to it. Hinges are rusted. This looks like it's just pine or laurel, a mountain laurel, but kind of low quality. So we can redo these. They're not that bad. We can treat them, redo them, and make them look good again. But if we wanted to redo that, we could. The shelves and stuff, that's easy. Sanding, revarnishing. If you didn't want to use the poly, there's always that oil that we were talking about before, which we can do as well. So other than that, the kitchen looks pretty good. I'd put a wooden box over this. It's kind of ugly. Other than that, little things like that, cleaning up the grout, like I said. Let's go check it out upstairs. Oh, we're filming. Okay. So we're standing in your bedroom, Courtney. Hardwood floors are nice. They're rustic. I actually really like them. They're just missing a baseboard, the trim around it. There's big gaps between them. That's easily solvable with some molding or just flat square baseboard, and we can talk about what design what you like, but we certainly need to do that. There's some patchwork that needs to be fixed in these walls. This is what they call plysim. It's not drywall, it's just plysim, kind of like plywood, ply cement, and it's kind of this fiberboard, cheap stuff. But it's fine for now. It just needs to be touched up, mudded, and definitely a paint job. So what I wanted to talk to you more about was the ceiling. The ceiling here, you can see, is kind of ghetto, super ghetto. a ceiling shouldn't be able to move like that. I don't know if they went with spans of pine wood too long, which are sagging, or what they did. I would imagine, I would hope that they use galvanized steel as their roof structure to tack up to, and maybe they just missed spots where they needed to go. But this, looking more into this tongue and groove, it's super nasty. It's ghetto, and if I were you, to make it look nice, not have to worry about bugs getting inside, because you really can't seal up all this entire line. Is just rip it down from the inside so the boys don't have to be working on the roof, taking the roof out, clean out all the dead bats, all the insects, all the nasty, nasty shit, and then re-insulate, put insulation up, kind of that cotton candy stuff that always made you itchy climbing around the attic as a kid, that stuff up, so you're not losing any energy through your ceiling. Because as of now, you've got an AC unit in here, which you're just going to be charged out the ass for in Nicaragua in energy bills. And it's just, you're going to be wasting too much energy trying to keep this place cool because it's not insulated. So obviously the people who built this kind of cut a lot of corners, but it's fixable. It's definitely fixable. So it would be, this is, the other side of this is hollow. That's how we know there's no cement on the backside. So we do the Durarock drywall in here. We'd certainly save a lot of this wood for building cool couches, funky furniture for the greenhouse, or for even up here, something to kind of keep it matched. It's something that we can hold on to. It's pine. It's not very good, high quality tongue and groove stuff. It's really thin, but it's definitely worth holding on to. We can maybe play around with furniture or something like that. But in the hallway as well, a little new fixings here and there, and then certainly a paint job. You can see a patchy paint job's done up here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's kind of, whoever did this looked like they just, they Tom Sawyered it and just slapped on a couple paint, called it good. So that's what we're looking at now. Your bathroom is good. It's good enough for now. I would redo the countertops if you want to match it with your kitchen sink. If we go with the granite, we should match this up with that, and it wouldn't be at that much higher of a cost. I think it's cool. It would take too much to rip out all these tiles. They're fine for now. It's kind of that modern look, which I know Rob Dole was totally all about. But you do have your super heady vegan organic low flow toilet, which is super heady, brah. And the bathroom's actually not that bad. Now that we put the traps in, there's no more stinky nasty. But let's go outside and we'll talk about where we want to do your laundry room and your septic system. And I just wanted to show you a good view of where your siding meets and how they really didn't seal it off that much, and what we're going to do with all that spray foam we talked about. You might be able to see up here where they had just shoved trash in there. I think Ivana did that to try and keep the bats out, which was not a bad idea. It's a good start, reusing some garbage and getting it in there. But the spray foam will seal up every aspect of that. We'll cut it because the spray foam will expand into every gap. We'll cut it off, and then we'll paint it with this aluminum silver paint to kind of give it that same finish, and then we'll do a baseboard. We'll scribe the outline of this zinc sheeting for your siding, and we'll put a wooden baseboard up there and stain it to match the wood that you have on your soffit. It's the easiest way to do that, and then we'll caulk that too, so it'll have double protection from insects, bees, because there's tons of bees up there too, which are nasty. It stung like 9 times, and of course the nasty fucking bats. All right, Courtney, I'm standing in between the two casitas, which I think would probably be the best area to build your little bodega, your little shed for your washer and dryer. I was thinking we could cut out something along here, along this wall, right here, next to the horse doo-doo. Cut it out, level it out. It doesn't need to be higher than me. And since you have your overhang on your soffit from the roof, we can just, put a shed roof coming out this way with doors big enough to have, either a double or a washer and a dryer in here. And we can talk about that later. But I just like this position because you can have access, little pathway. We can do some landscaping and do a little pathway around to the front door of the blue casita and around the front door of the yellow casita as well. So that's this. Okay, Courtney, I'm standing on your septic tank. You can kind of see the outline right here, concrete outline. It's a round septic tank. This is your vent right here, and it's just from what Secundino told me, it's 3 meters deep. So what I would like to do, rather than having you come up here and have to pump it out every year, 2 years, what we can do is add another small tank, round tank, next to it here with 2 leach fields, the little manifold, and 6 meter long leach fields, which are 4-inch PVC tubing with thousands of holes drilled in the bottom of it, and dug down at least 2 meters in these ditches. Each of the ditches have broken brick material, cascajo, which is that mountain shale, and then 1/2-inch gravel on top of that, so that the water will leach out, so your solids will go in, the doo-doo goes in, stays at the bottom, the nasty sludge level comes up, runs down another tube and into a second tank, where the solids, which was just a sludge layer at that time, will fall to the bottom of that as well. Just the liquids will fill up and then run off. By the time it gets run off and filtered through your 2-meter filters, I guess people say you could actually drink it. I wouldn't want to, because it's doo-doo water, but it's good enough for the environment and to filter back into the mountain. So that's what I would do, because then you would never have to pump it out. And we could do that each casita has its own, and that wouldn't cost you very much, a couple $100 to do that, so you would never have to pump it, because every time they come out and pump, it's $250 to $400, especially coming up this hill for every load. So if you're doing that, it'll pay for itself right off the bat.